So Shaun, a return to home soil this weekend against high flyers Plymouth Argyle. Another tough fixture on what has been a real tough run really in the league.
Yeah, it's been a tough run. Yeah, I accept that. It's been some good opponents, some strong opponents. The last two games in particular was when you encounter Mansfield, the way that they play, the type of football that they play as well. They're tough afternoons. Still felt we should and could have got something out the afternoon. Same thoughts last week against Luton. So when you're losing games, like the last two that we have lost, I think it's very easy to get down and despondent. That's not been the case. We've took loads of positives from both games, especially last week against Luton. I thought we played really well in the second half, really well. So we have to take all the positive that we've experienced over this last 4.5-5 months and take us into Saturday's game, because they've done really well as well. They've had a good season. Derrick's done well. He's been very efficient in the way that he's managed the team. They've been up there consistently since he's been down in England. So, a lot of respect for the job that he's done. But our backers as well. We're a good team.
Just touched upon Plymouth, then we'll get onto them in a minute. You spoke about the positives of Luton on Saturday. Your assessment very much after the game was 75 minutes. Really, it was a bright performance. Given sort of 15 minutes. Up to half time. How have you been able to use that positive this week in training with the players, and have they used that themselves?
Well, the players will always be critical of each other and of themselves, and they was disappointed coming off the pitch last week. But very quickly, we got in the dressing room and we spoke about just how dominant we were in the second half. And I think you always, that's the mantra of our football club. You always look forward. Whatever you've experienced in the past, good, bad or indifferent, you put it to bed on 5 o'clock on a Saturday night. You always look forward to the next opponent. So, the boys have always been good. I've never really had to G them up too much, not on a Monday morning, whether it's been kind of getting too carried away with a win or too down and despondent for a loss. It's been a good week. We've worked hard, and we've got a game plan going into the weekend, and it's up to us once again, another opportunity to get back on track.
Another team, obviously you mentioned, as flying very high, second in the division, sat fairly comfortably inside the automatic promotion places, but in midweek the result against Yeovil just shows that anything can happen in this league.
It's a crazy league, and so much to play for, so many ups and downs to experience between now and the end of the season, for us. And I think that's something that was mentioned on Thursday. You look at the way that the results for us last weekend independently didn't go our way. And then you look at Tuesday and no one could quite believe that Cheltenham have gone and beaten Luton, and Plymouth have gone and lost to Yeovil. It just highlights just how tight League Two is. So we have to take a lot of encouragement from that. And what we've got to do is we've got to find more points against the top 7, and that's been the success of our year, has been getting the maximum points against the middle group and the bottom end group, and now we've got to try and create them, the same kind of end results against the top 7, top 8.
Tuesday's deadline day brought the arrival of Liam O'Neill. Just give us a little idea how he settled into the training ground, his first day at the training ground today.
I think it's always easier when you know the club, know the surroundings. And he's probably said in his presser himself, he feels like he's coming home. I remember going as a player on my journeys and kind of getting in the car and not knowing where I'm going. Kind of living out of a hotel for 3 months. He's back home, back with his parents, back with his family and friends, so instantly he'll feel, that he really belongs there. I think that's massive when you're looking at bringing players in halfway through the season. You want to cause as little disturbance as possible. And for Liam in particular, he comes here and he'll be, absolutely galvanised by the fact that this is home.
Obviously played a number of games already this season for Chesterfield, so I guess he'll be ready to go straight into action as soon as possible.
I think that's another key thing. The players that you're bringing in, how many games have they played this year? The windows can sometimes be murky. It can be a murky window. Sometimes you get players who have not played a lot of games in the first part of the season. Sometimes you get players that aren't wanted by the clubs. Especially the 3 players that we brought in on permanent deals. Lewis and Carroll, and now O'Neill. We've got them for a long term. 2.5, 3.5 year deals. Actually wanting them for the long term rather than the short term, which is great for us.
Just finally, this weekend's game, I guess as well. The performance has obviously been as good in recent weeks. The results haven't quite gone your way. Has that provided you a slight shot in the arm, do you think, in terms of what you can expect for the second half of the season, and obviously what you're aiming for come May?
I think you've hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I mean, a shot in the arm. You know, sometimes you need that even when results are going your way. You know, you can never ever get carried away with this league. Never get carried away with the results either. You know, win, lose or draw. You know, keeping that level. You know, that's been, I suppose, the way we've spoken about internally as a football club. Don't get carried away with the good times. Don't get too down and on the floor with the results that don't go your way either. You know, there's loads to play for, loads to play. You know, the way this division is at the minute, where everybody's, you know, in amongst the 24 teams that are standing at the minute, it won't be how it is at the end of the season. There'll be so many changes. So, no, we'll just continue, you know, look to do our job, and we're looking forward to the weekend.